Hey everybody, Doug here from 2 Plus Stuff. Hope everyone's having a good day, as I am as well. And today I'm just going to be hanging out and doing a little hobby streaming. I having a stressful couple of weeks, and so getting back into what excites me about the hobby has been a real joy. So I don't know, that's basically all we're going to do today. With that, I got a whole bunch of Terminators here. I thought we could start hacking into those. Let's see. Boom. Okay. I started with the contrast layer of the Contemptor Dread, so we'll see how that goes. If someone could let me know if they can see and hear me okay, that would be immensely helpful. Let me just pop out the chat. One of the things I wanted to explain here early on in the show is I have a link in the chat box as well as in my comments down below for a website called awomensplace.shop, which my wife is an incredible person and felt motivated to help out others. And so even though we weren't affected by the Supreme Court decision to basically overturn abortion and a whole bunch of other things, she felt compelled to do this, and so she's a graphic designer, created a whole shop of things that all proceeds go directly towards defense of women's rights in the United States. That's all. Just wanted to throw that out there. I'll have more official info and stuff like that. But yeah. Ooh, we got some questions coming in. Also important news, I dare say equally important. It's that time of the quarter because I got fresh water in this pot for the first time in far too long. Oh, it's been so long. Oh man. Someday I'll get on top of painting real well. Let's see. Got a question from Julian Calera. What's your favorite Terminator type? Mine is Tartarus. Honestly, I like the Cataphracti. The reason I like it is because when Terminator armor was first explained to me, they were like, think of like a more mobile version of a tank. And for some reason, like the very boxy look of these guys, they look like the OG Iron Man suit. You know, it's just this clunky, nasty looking dude. Just not doing much of anything because he can't move. I love it. And I'm not sure what my brain can handle seeing at the bottom of your water pot. This is I think it's called a brush buddy. I found it online, and it's essentially a suction cup with a whole bunch of these little like nodules and stuff. Basically, they're all very, very like bendy, but your brush can run against them and work the color out of it. And so it's really useful like for cleaning dry brushes particularly, because there's just a lot of surface area to pull off the paint particles. They actually make one that's an entire pot, and I've been wanting to get one so bad, but they're always out of stock. If you get the full pot one, it has that little bubbly thing built into the bottom of it, but it also has this really nice paintbrush rack that goes along the outside rim. I was like, oh my god, I want that so bad. And every time I go to grab it, they like just sold out. And you're like, son of a gun. I haven't had to deal with sellouts this fast for outside of Games Workshop, man. And next to it, I got some brush cleaner and stuff. So we'll be just throwing down a whole bunch of Black Templar. And if I reach a point where there's not much else I can paint, I will be hopping over to tidying up the last little bits on. This is my Sergeant. I don't think he's in power armor. It doesn't look like power armor. It might be. Someone tell me what that is. Or not power armor, Terminator armor. But I got a few more details to work up on him. Hey Doug, we can see you. Sad to hear you're dealing with sad times. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. We're doing good. Sad times are sad. It's all right. Hey Doug, hope you and yours have been doing well. We have been. Thank you very much. We had, if anyone's just curious, I had a death in the family recently, so I made a post about it as to I was kind of taking a break from taking notes, just having trouble focusing. And so I'm still here for a couple of live streams. And I have some cool side projects that I'm cooking that I can't talk about because they're super secret. And I'm excited. When we get back to it, I'm going to restart with a new energy, and I am happy. I am happy. Like, so that death in the family, it happened so fast that there was no pain involved. And I was like, you know what, man? Good, fair. That's all you can do, you know? At a certain point, you reach that level of maturity where you're like, that's the best any of us can get. So anyway, welcome to my emo stream. That's Artificer armor. Okay, thank you very much. I didn't think it was Termie armor because like it didn't. I feel like whenever a hero is in Terminator armor, they're much more like it goes way above their shoulders. Like they're kind of built into it almost. Yeah, I almost think Space Marines look like orcs and stuff like that. When you know the head is now set in the middle of the chest, kind of a deal. I won't spend necessarily this much time with every one of them, but whenever I do a test model, which this guy was going to be, I always take a little extra time just to get used to like what the... basically asking what's a pain in the butt to reach. So these guys, if you don't know, Lunar Wolves, or Sons of Horus as they became known, generally speaking, they're Terminators. Their first company is like all in black, and it's the counterpose all the green that's in other things. And of course they have green Termies as well, but that's kind of the first company's thing, and I am planning to do the first company. Well, Pride of the Legion. So the Honor Guard of the Legion is kind of the first army milestone I'm building towards. The reason I like Tartarus more is because it allows the user to run down their foes, and I like the look of it. You know, I'm not familiar with every model of Terminator armor. It's tough to beat that old Space Hulk look, though. That brought so many people into the hobby. I don't know what kind that is, but I'm sure it has like a very specific designation. That kind of older stuff, man, it holds up. Like I started painting the Contemptor, and I was talking about it on the last stream of just, I don't like the Contemptor Dreadnought, because when I think Dreadnought, right, what it's selling me is it's basically a sarcophagus that forces a warrior to keep on fighting even when they should be dead. I'm like, heck yes, I'm into that. That's so metal. I love it. But then the Contemptor, it doesn't look sarcophagus-y enough for me, which is a sentence that this hobby has brought me to saying. And so that's kind of where I'm at. It's like, I don't know, man. It looks, I mean, it looks War Machine-like, you know, in terms of that's its function, absolutely. But as far as, like, hitting the notes that it sold me on, nah. Not a big fan. The Indominus armor is the classic. Okay, right on. Oh, here we go. On the note of the Heresy, especially if you're playing things set near the end of the conflict, did you see the Angron reveal? Yes, I did. I did, and I am very happy for them. I think, you know, every blue moon I have a thought about playing 40k again, because there are just some incredible minis, but like I don't care for the game aspect. But I was like, if I was going to do Chaos Space Marines, I would definitely do a Khorne variant. It's because I like them. I like the idea of Space Marines just having this eternity and getting really, really high on the slaughter. I was like, oh yeah, that's rad. I also was thinking about doing Sisters of Battle Axe. She actually was just showing my wife a few pictures earlier today. And she loved it. Really like the Trial of St. Catherine or whatever it's called. The Uber model. It's such a mess. Just wait until next edition. But yes, I did see the Angron model. He looks super dope. I love that he is very reminiscent in terms of his pose to the old school John Blanchard. If you've seen that old picture when he's just like burrowed forward, I think I was going to say they nailed it on the butcher's nails, but they captured it quite well. Nah, he's just a great looking mini. I'm just going to make sure I get in there real well. And just one more time, feeling on the shoulder pads. And we're going to cover all that up with a layer of paint later on anyway, so cool. Let's see. On the note of the Heresy, especially if you're playing... Oh yeah, I got that one already. Hey, Kasmeen Miniature, what's up? It's such a mess, just wait until the next edition. I've got a Gene Stealer Cult Goliath that I've converted into a food truck. That's amazing. And I need an accent color. Something, and turned into a food truck. What kind of food is it? And also, does it have a punny name? Like any of the food trucks or whatever from Bob's Burgers. I don't know if you've ever seen that episode of all the food trucks. Every one of them has just a terrible pun name, and it's glorious. Deimos Predator is looking real nice. Yeah, did they say when that's going to be up? I didn't read the full article. I was on the road a good portion of the morning. Sometimes Jess and I like to go and work out of a coffee shop. Which, you know, it means I can pack the laptop up and go, but also Games Workshop website and Warhammer community just don't load well on coffee shop Wi-Fi. I am learning. I love Bob's Burgers and all the puns in it. Absolutely. Let's see. A junk food truck. It's converted using Necromundi bits, and no, it doesn't have a name yet either. But if you can chat with an idea. Okay. Okay, let me see what I can do here. Pause for half a second. Food trucks in Bob's Burgers. Okay, the episode Food Truckin', 5th episode, season 5. Dang it. Now I need the names of the food trucks. Main color is gray sear. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, hey. Okay, here we go. I'm going to share screen with you, Kasmeen. And we're going to pick out a good thing for you here. Oh, hold on a second. Let me get my infinity window out of here. So this is an Imgur article thing about all the food trucks from this one. So there's something to talk about. Schindler's Fish, which is so god dang dark. Oh man. There's the Walk of Shame, WOK. Oh no, that's the Wonder Wharf sign over Gene. Ode to Soy. Stop, drop, egg roll. Stop, drop, egg roll. Genghis Flan. Ain't muffin to it. I think they're trying to show us the one on the side here, but there's nothing there. Taquitos cheap. Talk to the ham. Sherlock scones. I like that one. Oh, hey, it's even kind of like a beigey color. Oh, you said you're Gracier, so it's... Yeah. Roastbusters. Spaghetti about it. I am clam. Justice of the quiche. You guys, this is totally we're a Bob's Burgers show now. Total eclipse of the tart. Jeepers Crapers. What are this one here? Dentist Rick's fish sticks. Here's looking at you, squid. Okay, that's what I've got. Kasmeen, I hope you enjoyed that. And that some inspiration there. Some inspiration was there. I got to give my my tip of the hat to Genghis Flan. I like it. And we're back to becoming a painting podcast. All right. And here's going. So I made. So the box came. The Age of Darkness box came with 10 Terminators, and you can build them with claws. I always say claws because I think of an old skit. With the Street Fighter guy with the claw. Anyway, so those, and then you could also build them with their, I guess, what are they, combi bolters? Is that what they are? No, I know they're not combi because there's no other weapon with them, but heavy bolters. And yeah. So I decided to do 5 and 5 because I wanted to play them at small point games, which I'm sure I'll start off with. And I can kind of lean in one way or the other from there. Terminators are a thing that I've just really liked. Like all of Warhammer, just the idea of them. Like not so much back when they were like these deified, like, oh, they have a piece of the Emperor's own armor in them or whatever. But more of just like a heavy tactical squad of like, these guys are like defense busters. That's always how I used them when I was playing Dawn of War. Maybe a pun around stew or soup. All right, everybody. Dads, this is your moment. Oh, you could do like, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure how you would model it to look like a New York one, but you could be stew you, buddy. Instead of screw you, we could do... I gotta look into that one. I'm thinking about it real hard. Yeah, that's what you gotta do. You gotta call out the dads. Do I have any World Eater players like in 40k now? Like, because I know they're getting their own book too. I believe they confirmed that a while back. I was just trying to think of how... It's when you get to stuff like Emperor's Children, like there are just always going to be people who play Emperor's Children because they love the stories. And they're good stories. I mean, I love their book, Fulgrim. But when it comes to like World Eaters, I don't know. At least from the gameplay in 40k perspective, not so much 30k. I see a lot fewer people into them. That could just be like a personal, what I actually see personally versus what's actually the dominant thing on the internet. I was just kind of curious. I guess my real question is, how many people are excited about Angeron? Stu, you, buddy, feels perfect. Loyalist Grenadier Siege Breaker Company. Should I give my Justinian Terminators and Terminator Praetor Combi Brigade? Oh gosh. There are so many things in that question I do not understand. If anyone in the chat does, that was gibberish to me. I am very new to Heresy. By that I mean I haven't even played a full game. I just really wanted to have some well-painted models, and I didn't realize how much I needed a break from painting orcs. So that's why I'm here. No, actually, I do have a local friend named Ned who is going to be teaching me all about Heresy. Speaking of which, I was supposed to share his show today, and I forgot to. I will do that right after this. But yeah, I'm very excited to get some early games in. I am hoping to do quite a bit of Zone Mortalis. I was just listening to a podcast discussing and reviewing it. In one of the more recent White Dwarfs, they put out Zone Mortalis rules to basically, if you don't know, Zone Mortalis is just any kind of like small cramped space. It was originally done to replicate fighting in ship-to-ship combat. So like a force would send over a boarding party in space. So you didn't have vehicles or anything like that. And it was like tight corridors. And so they made this whole game system for it. And point limit starts around 500 points compared to the 3,000 for a standard game. So I was like, that sounds nice. I want to go to there. Slaves of Nucia was a great insight into world eaters, but I'm a big 30k fan of them. Bear Wizard. I almost said Beer Wizard. Either way, awesome name. I was going to ask, so I read, or I guess I listened to it, it was a short story with Karn, and basically he had got done slaughtering a bunch of people, and like in that stillness after the initial combat, he could like think clearly for a bit. Do you know what story that was? I remember liking it, but it was like 7 years ago at this point. I mean, maybe closer to 6. Something like that. I don't know. But it was a great story just depicting Karn. I was like, man, that sounds awesome. Soup Stealer Cults. I like that. Oop, I just kicked a box of mini parts down below. Sorry about that, everybody, if that just made everybody crap their pants. New pants on me. Let's see. I have no idea what that story is. It's probably buried in all the books I have somewhere. It's all good. It's all good. I know it was a long shot. Because I think they gave it away as like a... like, join our thing and you get a book or something like that. I don't know what I'm thinking of. Two, three. Here's my first 5. Might be doing these boys in groups of 5 rather than 10. Just to break it up a bit. This is the thing. I know this can be done in 2 seconds in an airbrush, but I'm really enjoying just the the zen of the paintbrush, you know? As a Blood Angels fan, I'm obliged to respect World Eaters somewhat because it's the fate of Blood Angels would have had if Sanguinius wasn't their Primarch. Sounds about right. So, question. Were they having trouble with, like, rage? The Blood Angels, I'm sorry. Were they, the Blood Angels, having trouble with rage and losing control before? Because I thought a lot of their problems stemmed from the tragic death of Sanguinius and like a psychic shock. So like, were there problems before that? Oh, and in case you didn't know, this is the perfect time to explain that even though I'm a YouTuber about Warhammer stuff, I don't know a thing. Because I do feel like, I mean, I remember hearing like the simple bullet points regarding all the various legions, chapters, that kind of thing. I got the highlights. Like, I know some stuff. But when it comes to the minutia, like, I know they've expanded on a lot of it. I know there's some cool stuff development-wise with, I think it's Luther and the Dark Angels, that kind of thing. Like, I'm here for that. I just can't keep up with all of it. I don't know who can. Arm them with Volkites. Yeah. So I'm painting up, on the note of how I am divvying up my Terminators. I think I'm going to do bad boy with Lightning Claws. And I love Lightning Claws. I love the idea so much of Power Claws, anything like that, any of those weapons. I just think they're so stinking cool. Whenever I was playing Dawn of War, I would, like, of course, kit out whatever lieutenant out with every kind of cool weapon I could. Never touch the power swords or axes. Give me just a big honking fist. You know, put claws on the end of it. Sure, do whatever you want to do. Want some oomph when I swing this into something. Oh, man. So good. And then I saw the models for the Orc Power Claws, and those are the Power Claws among Power Claws. But since they got rid of challenges and stuff like that, I never had as much use for them. Even when I did play Orcs for a bit in 40k. They were just as bad as the current World Eaters before Sanguinius put them to rehab, ensuring they were better because of it. Okay, interesting. For some reason, I always thought that they were like... weird goth kids that didn't really get along with everybody, necessarily, but, like, there wasn't a thing wrong with them. That is so interesting to know. The thing about the Blood Angels codex in 40k that has always intrigued me, I love the idea of Dreadnought HQs, and they have those, and it's just the coolest conceptual thing. I'm being led by a guy who's like dead in a box. He already died doing his duty, but we're keeping him alive with the life support just so he can lead others to go do the exact same thing. Oh man, it's so morbid and dark. It's that kind of delicious darkness for 40k, you know. But no, I hadn't heard that. I'm actually excited. So I do plan on, when I come back to doing like scripted videos here towards the end of the month after I get back from Texas and all that, I am very excited to learn more about the legions. People, I think, I don't want to say ignorantly because it sounds like I'm insulting, but I mean, like, they make an assumption that is not true. That I know something that I know more about the Heresy or whatever just because I started talking about it with the Emperor Protects. It's like, no. We started the Emperor Protects so that I had an excuse to work it into my reading schedule because I don't know a dang thing, but it's so cool. So this is the man on the internet telling you don't trust everyone on the internet. We're not authorities. We're just people who say stuff. Their unification name was the World Eaters of the Dead or the Revenant Legion. Interesting. I mean, that's pretty badass. The Revenant Legion. Like that, can we all admit that's pretty cool? I will say, like the flawed loyalist legions, legion specifically. I'm not talking 40k. Really do tend to be the most interesting to me. Like for all the memes that it generates, like the whole idea of like the Dark Angels having their own personal heresy is like such a fascinating microcosm of what's going on abroad. And when I say memes, like it's just like all the people talking about, oh, you actually have a traitor legion there, whatever. But like that's the fact that that story exists is awesome. I love it. Okay, yeah, we're gonna break these into two groups. I'm gonna move away from just painting Black Templar before we all jump out of our respective closest window. And we're gonna move over here to this boy. Now we're going to build up some... Let's switch to a different color. Let's get some red in there. For my reds, I have been using Formula P3. This is Sanguine Base. It's part of the, I think it's the Menoth paint line that they have. I don't know. Whenever I can find P3 paints, I always buy up a whole bunch of them. I actually really like them. Forgive me, just taking a quick drink. As many of you will remember, we have the mixing brush, which looks like a troll doll mixed with the GW brush. Hello there, hey! General Elrit. I used to have problems getting P3 paints to quote-unquote work for me, and just realized that they just require a lot more stirring and mixing than other paints, and I don't know why. Actually, this is like a really good brush for contrast, but not so much for finer detail. Aha. There we go. Albert, what you going on today? We're on a quandary crushing bandwagon. We already helped Kazam Miniatures to or Kazim, apologies, pick up a food truck name for a Necromunda style vehicle. Speaking of which, I'm actually getting back into Necromunda as well. My buddy Rob Locally got the whatever the most recent set was with Delac and Escher, and so yeah, I have the Delac of those coming my way. I picked up the book. What are they? The House. They're not House of Shadows, are they? I could be right about that. I could be right, but I'm not confident, so I lose points. Anyway, I got that coming, or I have it right now, and so I haven't touched it yet, but I'm excited to jump more. I was having this discussion with him, right? And you know, they're supposed to be this super secretive gang. They're kind of like all over the place, very intelligence based and tricksy, and I like that. But my thing is, I want to paint mine with like brown coats rather than black, because when I look at them, I think that those nerds would stand out so intensely. And I was like, how is this camouflage? Wear a brown jacket, you at least have a little bit of blending in with people around you. I just think that if everybody really wore the kind of like crazy get-ups that they do like on the cover art, they would all look like the boss from Mama's Boy or Grandma's Boy, where he's like the super into the Matrix and is like essentially LARPing. Which is cool, but it's not a way to stay secret and gather intelligence. Ooh, Delac are cool. Yeah, I you know, I mean, honestly, I can find models in every single Necromundi gang that I like. I think probably the one I like the least is Van Zar. Just, I mean, mainly, it's not even that I don't like the models. The models are beautiful. It's just I like Necromunda for the very low technology look of things, and they, you know, much like Tau, are clean and stuff like that in 40k. They exist to be the opposite, and I'm just like, nah, that's cool, but not for me. I want dirt people. I want, like, what are essentially gangs, religious movements, and hobos all just, like, punching each other in the face with garbage weapons. Oh, and then they're in the enforcers. Yeah, the police to come break it all up. There we go. Throw in his little badge of office there. What is everybody else working on today? Oh, grabbed a little bit of black by accident. Good to know. For me, I just got these Termies. I think there's one more hero I have left. And the Contemptor. I did finish the Land Raider as the chat shows last time. And it came together pretty well. I suppose I could show it here in a second. Bit sorting. Nice. The alien brain thing for Delac made me really like them. That's super fair. I haven't really looked too hard at their expansion set or whatever. But I certainly will. Other ones that I really like, just Orlocks, just because I like how the simplicity. They just have a great like everyday person vibe. Which didn't they come out with a box of like just like general nobodies, like they're not part of any gang in particular? thought they did. I don't know. Necromundi is fantastic, though. So good. Oh, I forgot a shoulder pad. Okay, we can go back over that in a second. That's how done with painting black I am, apparently. Forgot part of a model. Let's see. I was going to build some dudes from the Age of Darkness box, but I left the instructions back home. No! I don't know if I have mine still. I can see. That's such a bummer. Yeah, just throw some more Black Templar on that guy's shoulder. Viridian Forge, let your wife know my wife and I love those shirts. Oh, yeah. Yes, it was Outcast. Thank you so much, Optimus. A few things. A lot of housekeeping here. Viridian Forge, sorry, buddy. I've been distracted with family stuff, but I will promote. This is the guy who designed my custom Rogue Idol, and he actually has the design up for sale now. So you can, if you have a 3D printer, you can get it. So a lot of people have asked for that. Just got bogged down and needed a mental break. So I will do that today, I promise. But also, he mentioned the shirts. Yes, my wife, and this is sort of like a soft initial release. My wife wanted to do something about the recent Supreme Court Justice ruling regarding women's rights to their bodies. And so she created a online store where Teespring 100% manages the money and 100% of donations go directly towards supporting organizations fighting for women's rights. She's a graphic designer. She made all the designs herself. And we don't see a dime of it. They take care of literally all of it. We get a donation form at the end of the year, and that's it. So anyway, if you're looking for something fun in a super fun way, there's men's and women's shirts there. Please, go ahead. It would mean the world there. Next, I'm going to throw down Balthazar Gold. Hey, thank you so much, buddy. I saw your message there about me and my family. What Sons of Horus company specializes in grenades and breaking sieges? They will be the pride of the Legion in-game. Oh, I see. What your Sons of Horus... Okay, right on. Sorry, I thought you were asking the question of... Well, I was like, I don't know what company does that. That's awesome. I was like, man, that was an intense... That wasn't even like a trivia night question. Okay. We got our boy over here. And we're going to start building in some Balthazar Gold. So I gotta talk about a YouTuber that I found recently that has just absolutely made my day. And if you are friends with them online, feel free to share. There's a YouTube channel called Mediocre Hobbies. And he essentially paints the exact way I do, which is you do contrast and then one highlight. And then he basically like, if you want to go further, you can do X, Y, Z. Which is all that I do. Is you block the color out and then you just apply some... one layer and a wash will make contrast paint look so good. And the hardest thing about that process is that like you kind of have to like experiment and see what highlight colors go well with which contrasts. And he does a lot of that for you. Like he did an entire series on doing all of the Age of Darkness models. I'm sorry, the Horus Heresy Legions with nothing but for the most part, with nothing but contrast and a few layer paints. Some of the harder colors, and obviously like Night Lords, the Thunderbolt is like its own, you know, thing to learn how to do. But for the most part, it's just that exact method. And I was like, man, what a great resource, because again, the only trick to that entire process is finding the right highlight color. So I highly recommend that channel. Isn't that how we all do it? No, there's all kinds of different ways to paint with contrast. Some folks just like doing simply contrast, and that's cool too. But just in terms of making a model look like you put way more work into it than you actually did, which, I mean, what is pure victory if not that? Then that's the style. Also, pro tip, I've lived long enough in life that if you think to yourself, don't we all do this one thing? The answer is most likely no. Orky Bob, hey Doug, love your stuff. Oh, thank you. Have you looked at Firefight yet from Mantic? Hey, thank you so much. Have I looked at Firefight? I actually, I should reach out to them again once I kind of stabilize a bit, so I can kind of come up with like a real plan and offer. But I have reached out to Mantic before, and I got ghosted. They never responded to me. But I'm up for just about anything. I like what I've seen. Like, I'm on their newsletter just because I like kind of keeping up with what's going on. It's like my news feed. And it's been fun to see like Firefight kind of get their new edition and how it's developing. It looks cool. I don't know if I'd ever be able to get a game in locally, but it looks cool. I'm gonna have the rest of this be silver. I just wanted to get a few little bits. Okay. The lore's pretty cool and the system is fun. Right on. I mean, it's as stellar as recommendation I've ever heard about it. There was a moment out in the Seattle area where people, after fantasy battles went away, a bunch of the local guys that I was hanging out with who were very, very upset about the changes to the change into, I should say, Age of Sigmar. We're toying with the idea of going into Kings of War instead. And so I got real excited. I actually really wanted to do a Salamander's army. And I had this whole idea loosely kind of lifted from the Privateer Press, like the Witch Doctor Crocs is like having like a cool backstory for sort of like a Southern Bayou type thing. Swamps always terrify me. It's just terrifying. Swamps are awful. Don't go into a swamp. But there's just something about that I really liked. But then the group was like, actually, let's just all give up on gaming. It's like, oh. Well, that's a decidedly different tack. Oh, I did miss part of the trim on this guy's headgear. Little thing that envelops him. Let's see. Anyone tried out the Army Painter speed paints? I have not. Some of us procrastinate doing non-metallic metals and painting realistic octopus skin for Golden Demon. Yes, exactly, yep. This is my downtime. I am not ready to glow up. I need to continue to be a paint goblin. I will get it together and I will paint well tomorrow. And this is going to sound like I'm fishing for sympathy. I promise I am not. So please do not respond in such. But painting is my way of like decompressing with stress, and it has been a stressful time in my family. And so like I went from having not painted much of anything to 20 Marines, a Land Raider, and a boss in Artificer armor in like a week. I was like, thanks, depression. I have a dark sense of humor. Please don't read a bunch to do that. I don't know if it's particularly dark. Well, it is. That joke wasn't. But you know what I mean. Yeah, let's see. William Kennedy, thanks for doing the hobby, Doug. For me, they are the best party. Oh, thank you. Looking forward to pinning along later. What's your next AOS project going to be? It's probably going to be Tzeentch. Good question. So as of right now, we'll see with family stuff and how that all shakes out. But right now, I am slated to go to Holy Havoc with my buddy Jack from Rerolling Once, like we did last year. We did the 2-player event. We had an absolute blast, BT Dubs. It was a great event. And we decided we wanted to do something sort of Tzeentchian, but not quite. So with Holy Havoc, you can't both be the same faction. And so what we decided, if I'm not mistaken, the specifics of the plan may have changed because I have been a bad partner and not kept up. But essentially, one of us doing Beasts of Chaos with an emphasis on Zangor, and the other one doing Disciples of Tzeentch. So one of us would paint the army black, one of us would paint his army white, and we would be this cool looking combo on the table. Which I would be excited for. This is my paint like a 3-year-old time. Absolutely. Super worried about making any big mess. There's probably better brushes to use with finer points. Actually, yeah, I kind of reached a point where I need Need a slightly sharper tip here. Okay. You're cheating to roll. Oh, thank you so much. Now, have you been I've been painting good for commissions all day? How long have you been a commissioned painter? I'm curious. Someone, a local here, asked me if I would paint up some Conquest minis for him. I've been thinking about it. I've done commissions before. When I was in college, we were all playing War Machine and Hordes. And a couple local guys saw that I painted my stuff. I had bought just a couple starter kits and stuff like that, and I painted them as best I could, my first paint jobs, and they were like, well, we need painted armies to be able to compete in Privateer Press events. So how much would it cost for you to paint our armies? And because at the time I was broke AF, I couldn't really afford much in the hobby, and so what I would do is I would point out a box of models that I wanted. I played Signar at the time in Privateer and War Machine. And I'd be like, I want that. You buy that right now. Keep the receipt in case you need to return it. I'll paint your models. And then you give me the bucks. And that's exactly what I did to get my first Signar army. Wish I had gone with Protectorate. But hindsight's 20/20, you know? Full-time, about 2 weeks. Right on. Well, good for you. That's how my commission pain started for me as well. Now I'm doing it 3 years as a official business. Nice. Live that dream. Make that paper. Paint that plastic. My thing is I lose the will to paint way too quickly. And once I lose that will, I'm like, actually, I don't want to touch this model anymore. I want it to be gone. Bye. And then just like, I'm done with it. When I get done with a model or a unit or something, you guys have never seen such blatant disregard for plastic product. That's why I flip armies all the time. Not being broke is a good motivation. Yep. That is the truth. We gotta hook you up with a YouTube channel. Get some of them tutorial vids. Every tutorial is also a promotion for your direct painting service. Next, we'll build it into a class structure. You can be teaching at a Adepticon. That's just, you know. Where there is an internet connection, there is opportunity. Thanks, Dystopia. You can tell I'm in a fairly good mood because a lot of my dark humor is showing through. I was wondering if you plan on doing more Infinity lore videos. I maybe someday. I have no plans to. How about that? It's for a few reasons. I'm not a huge fan of the way that Parabellum releases their lore. Like it's physically hard to keep up with in terms of getting the material. They don't do like army books like G-Dubs does. And it can make it a bit difficult. Do all these close? Oh, snap. Okay. And so a big problem I had is like just finding the information. And I was like, at the time, there just were not enough people interested in it to justify the amount I had to spend on books to be able to find it all. Like I would go to like half-price books and have to like scour the shelves. I'm looking for stuff there, having to order it online if it's out of print. Just felt like, you know, they wanted people to know, they'd make it accessible. That might have changed. Like I haven't looked into any Parabellum stuff in quite a long time. So if it is different now, that's cool. But I really like the Conquest and did I say Parabellum before? Man, what's the name of the company that does Infinity? No, I can't remember. Corvus Belli, there we go. Man, that took a second. Had to like buffer there. Been thinking about doing Twitch streams. Oh yeah, you do well at Twitch. Let me give you a pro tip. Confidence is everything, and maximize every opportunity you have in front of somebody. That's all there is to it. I'm an average painter. I'm a mediocre player. Apropos of nothing, voice of the community. Voice in the community, not of the community. Let's see. Verding forward. Getting at the Holy Advocates to Dream. Out of curiosity, do you know if 3D printed proxies are allowed? I was scouring the rules and couldn't find an answer. As of the last time I was there, yes, they were. There was a guy who I mean, I don't even know what they were trying to represent. It was like 4 giant D&D style dragons. I assume they were supposed to be like alternate big dragons, like he was doing a big dragon stormcast list or something. I don't know. Well, you can't really fit a lot of those in. I don't know. There was some weird stuff. Yes. I would definitely. Steve Herner is the guy who runs it, and he is extremely responsive. And so I would definitely just shoot him an email and be like, "Hey, I wanted to come. I just wanted to make sure before I sign up that this is fine." And I mean, I can't tell you he'll say yes, but based on what I saw when I went, it would have to be pretty extreme for it to get a no. Does that make sense? Every once in a while you walk up to a table and you just like stand over it and you're like, well, I came for Age of Sigmar, so what the hell am I looking at? Because everyone's using proxies. If I get started, I'll invite you to join me then. All right, no problem. Got some peasant zombies that are 3D. Oh, I'm sure that would not be a problem. Right? I mean, like, the biggest thing with any 3D printing is that your opponent should be able to easily identify what they are. A big old horde of dead guys shambling forward. There's only a few things that could ever be. Okay, so I think we got everything on. Ooh. We got the inside of the shoulder pads. And now we're just going to do a quick. I didn't realize that some of these guys have bits of trim showing on their shoulder pad or their arm pads here. Mr. Spider, do you make enough money just from streaming? I'd love to quit my job and do something like this. It's a bit of a chicken and the egg. No. So, peek behind the curtain time, because I don't keep anything a secret. I make most of my videos from people watching, generally speaking, lore series. So right now, as we're chatting, somewhere in the world, someone has just started my Stormcast Eternal series. The way to win on YouTube is to make things into playlists that bleed straight into one another. You can do this by creating collections, or say your video is in part of a series. Now, it does limit you in terms of what playlist you can put it in at that point. But by telling YouTube that a set of videos is part of a series, it will strongly recommend the next in the series over anything else. And so what you get in the end is friends like you pulling up a chair, watching videos, and the lore series will just go. As you know what I mean? It'll just keep playing, and that's all watch time. Watch time is how you make money on YouTube, not views, not subscribers. Those things are arbitrary. They're great for data, but they don't help anybody make money. And so yeah, just hanging out with me here helps. Any donations to the super chat are immense. Just to give you perspective, people would have to watch, I think it's like, I forgot the minute breakdown, but it's an egregious number of video views that you have to make to earn $1. So like the money is not super there. What works is that it's at scale, meaning I have lots of videos, and all those videos are pointing to another video. And it took me a while to learn that, so some of the earlier ones don't do that, but that's how you do it. The biggest thing is, if you want to get started in any kind of online content creation, since a few people have mentioned this chat, you need to provide immediate value. So even though my videos are 13 minutes long, by the end of it, you will know more about a faction than when you started it. Simple as. If you're going to do tutorials, they need to be succinct and educational. And a thing that I see many tutorial channels get wrong is that they don't leave enough stuff on the chopping block, meaning we're not here to learn about your life. We just want to know how to do a thing. Initially, when you build a fan base, obviously people have been exceptionally sweet and care very much about my family and stuff like that, and that means the world to me. It also took time to build a community of people that give a crap. Your first person who clicks on your video doesn't know you. So providing value is what you do to bring people back. When you have things like watch time numbers, that's when you can go to companies. If you're a painting person, you can go to paint creators and be like, hey, this is the value I can bring you in terms of advertising. How does it compare with your reach on Facebook ads or something like that? Because those companies will know Facebook ads in the United States suck. They are expensive as all hell. Much cheaper in other countries. And so if they can get a micro-influencer to talk about their products and directly promote it, even if it's for $150, that's a hell of a deal on their side. most people just don't know that it's a hell of a deal. Okay, wait, here, it's in chat here. Do you make a... Okay, I already read that one, sorry. Oh, what about YouTube Premium? That doesn't affect how much money I make. If you look inside the analytics dashboard, it has two sets of numbers. It's like money you made from watch time, and then money you made from watch time by YouTube Premium. Essentially, they kind of just pay out to all the creators separately. So even though it's not ads, they still give an equivalent amount. But they just let you know how many of those people were paying, were premium members. So like, I'm not incentivized to point people towards YouTube Premium. But I'm also not penalized if that's what they choose to, if they sign up for that service, which is about all I can ask for. But do you make enough from just videos? Yeah, I do. I mean, let me pause and think about that answer. No, I don't. When I say no, I don't, what I mean is if you wanted to only ever make these videos, probably not, or at least it's exceptionally hard to do. The amount of content you'd have to create. For me, I have an advantage that other people don't. And that is that I have a direct way to use my skills for my wife and her small business. My wife is a romance author, and we actually use a lot of the same marketing techniques and stuff like that we do for my channel on her work. And so it's using search engine optimization, that kind of stuff. So there's directly transferable things. My income from all of this, yeah, you could live on it. I mean, you'd live like a college kid, but you could live on it and be happy. It depends on what you want in life. Enough is a relative term. I don't think I would want to. I want a little more so I could put money in savings because I'm 33 and I think about those things now. But, yeah. It also matters immensely how you go about it. So if you were going to teach people how to paint, I would say make a Udemy class and then have your YouTube channel point people towards it, because that is another income revenue stream. You're making money in more places. You guys, tell me, do you guys mind if it becomes a small business class? I could talk about business stuff all day. It's actually, I'm going to call online business stuff my second hobby compared to Warhammer. That's why I've enjoyed it. Give me one sec. I saw that there was another question there. Just making sure I don't miss any of the little folds this guy has right in his power armor. I do not mind. It's interesting. Okay, cool. Appreciate it, y'all. Okay, so with the knowledge that a lot of my income is generated from helping my wife with her business, happy to give specifics. So, So with the advertising thing, it's a bit hard because as the economy kind of slowed down, so did my revenue drop, even though the same amount of watch time and stuff was all happening. So like, I did have a dip specifically around January, February, after the, kind of like the huge glut of marketing stuff from the holidays slows down. So on that low end, I was making about, I think $560 from ad revenue. At its best, it was $1,300 a month. This is all in US dollars. I believe the equation is like 1 $3 tip through the super chat is worth like almost 20,000 video views, and I would not find that hard to believe. What else? The important thing to do when you're doing online stuff is just have multiple revenue streams. That's going to be a thing that pops up a lot. So let's pick on Kasmeen Miniatures here because she's an awesome person. Please correct me if I'm using pronouns incorrectly. I don't know yet. I made that disclaimer for everybody. So you have multiple revenue streams. You should have, obviously, your Twitch affiliates. You're getting ad revenue. That's one income stream. If you have a Patreon where you spend more time with people, that is an income stream. I saw another question about Patreon. I'll get to that in a second. Maybe if you point people towards an affiliate site. Amazon has everything, but I personally don't like recommending people go to Amazon. I did way early in the channel, and then I was like, oh, I want to buy models and play a dystopia on the future. I don't want to feed into my actual dystopia, so it's like, frick. That's why I got partnered up with small stores. But, you know, you go to stores like Noble Knight Games has an affiliate program. They have a lot. They don't have everything. They got a lot. What else? Yeah, I know. And like all those things individually, they might make you $100, $200 here. But by nature of the internet, and this is the hardest thing to explain to my in-laws, okay? The hardest thing to explain. Yes, you might only make $100 here or there kind of thing when it comes to advertising and affiliate marketing, but the internet by definition is constantly making you that $100. Like if you're a commissioned salesman, you only make money or have the potential to make money if you go to work and you sell a car, right? With the internet, YouTube is constantly selling my videos for me because watch time means more ad revenue for them, and it also indirectly means ad revenue for me. Of course, they get a better chunk. That's their whole purpose. It's what they do. It's rad. It's fine. I get mine. But it's that kind of stuff where it's like you got to get the scale of things into your mind of like, if you spend a month working on a really cool integration for paintbrushes. I have here a Squidmar brush that he sent me when he launched his own paintbrush line. Holds up really well, by the way. This is not a review, but I have it. But let's say you got connected to this and you put a whole bunch of videos with an affiliate link to buying these brushes. I don't know if he has an affiliate program, but... And then you just forget about it. Those videos are going to be selling these brushes forever. Anyone who ever comes to your video is going to be like, oh man, are these brushes a good deal? Because they found them through some other means. If Amazon advertised it to them, whatever. And they're going to see your review. And it's like, that's the hardest thing. So one of the most valuable thing that you can do when it comes to online content creation is simply start. You got to start, because that backlog of information that's constantly selling, that is how you make money. I mean, like I've had, even going full time, I've been really excited to help my wife with her business. After this little break for my family, I'm actually putting together a big to-do list or checklist for like kind of revamping the channel a bit, just kind of updating some of the stuff, the settings, the affiliates and that kind of stuff. But yeah, all in all, like it's a pretty self-sufficient machine. I forgot his claws on the other side. And then if Kasmeen was to layer on top of that, obviously another income stream that she has access to that I don't is the actual commissions themselves. So Kasmeen, if you were to get a commission, say for $100, whatever you're painting, whatever you price that, we're just going to go with $100. It's a nice even number. You're making $100. If you use those models in a tutorial video, you could throw that on YouTube. It has ad revenue coming in from there once you hit a certain criteria of followers. At the same time, you're getting donations from your Twitch stream while you paint it to get the footage for the tutorial video. And You can have an affiliate link to painting products, where to get the model, some lead vegetable paint that I just stuck my finger in, all that kind of stuff. So you're maximizing the points of contact for influencing people, and that's the art of the deal. You want to feed the god Emperor Bezos. Oh, man. I'm going to pause there on the business stuff and ask questions. Does anybody have any questions about what I said, or any interesting, I don't know, feedback? Shut up, Doug, is always always acceptable. Now we've got black gray. Now what I find, there's a few ways to do this. Some people will do contrast, a wash, and then the highlight layer. I actually like doing the highlight layer first and then a thin down wash to bring whatever the contrast tone is and the layer you put on there a little bit closer. That is my preferred way. Did I just walk in? Doug explaining an MLM? No. No, I have 5 years of data on YouTube stuff and no small business friends that are also Warhammer nerds that I can ever explain all this to. So I held my audience captive here, learning about how to succeed. Man, I put way too much black on the table there. That's okay. Question: did you start your business while working a day job, or did you switch over fully? Oh, I had this as a part-time job after work for almost 5 years. Yeah, it was a while. My foray into online stuff actually started with a blog, 2+ Stuff, the blog, which is now defunct, by the way. Basically, I'm not a strong writer, but I wanted to start an online business. Originally because I wanted the hobby to pay for itself. And then slowly, a future just kind of came up in front of me. It was like, this could be your life if you want it. All you have to do is move away from Seattle. Lore week on YouTube business when. Oh goodness. Here's the thing. I've thought about going offering classes about YouTubing stuff at Adepticon, but I know Uncle Adam does that, and he is far more successful, I believe, than I am. And so it's like, well, if I'm going to be an idiot who doesn't stay in his lane, I'm at least going to stay out of his. I've met Adam in real life. He is an absolute delight. He made me one of the best old fashions I've ever drank. I don't know why that is useful information. My brain decided to share it, so. That was actually at Holy Havoc. Yeah, we were talking about it. Hey, that's awesome, Kazan. Yep, that's right on. I understand. There's a lot of if statements when it comes to miniatures, right? Because you can't obviously show everything all the time. But I respect it. That has its own advantages. Throw this down. Okay, wait, here we go. My plan so far is producing around 10 videos and uploading them over time. And while I do that, I can create new ones. First off, I'm going to address that before I get to your second message. That's a fantastic idea. Getting ahead is a really good idea. And actually, when I left that message on my page about, like, you know, I had a family member pass away, I'm going to take a little bit of a break from the pre-scripted content. It was part of it was that is like I need my family's well-being I've been working on it a lot this year with a lot of travel to help with surgeries and that kind of stuff. And so it ate away all of my kind of ahead content that I had banked up. And so it's like, you know what, rather than just spinning my wheels, I just need to pause and then get that little cushion built back up again. And then I'll come back refreshed, not feel like I'm on a deadline all the time. It's going to be great. Hey, thank you very much. Have you ever used oils or enamels in painting, like enamel washes using scale model kit? Like the stuff you would find like a craft store or whatever? No, none of that. I mean, I know obviously people do, like for historical minis and that kind of thing, but I have never tried. No, I learned how to paint early with GW stuff, and if a paint, like the way a paint functions kind of moves too far outside of that, I don't have the... Part of what makes an artist is their ability to perceive, like, not only what's happening with the paint, like how it's responding to different mediums and that kind of stuff, but also like how to pull those levers and get the effect that you want. And I struggle with that aspect. So if you put, like, for example, from what I understand, this is just an example, the new speed paint stuff from Army Painter, right? Well, it can reactivate it. It functions differently than, say, for example, contrast paints. And so that's something that tripped a lot of people up. Now that artists are getting more used to the style, like there's a lot of people who are highly praise it. It was just, it required an adjustment. It's like, well, it just depends on if you want to do that or not. But I'm pretty comfortable with where I've been at lately in terms of painting skill, so generally no. Oh, I'm sorry. Richie, I didn't see your second one. For the part-time question for Germans, start every business part-time because you get cheaper insurance. So there you go. Every little bit helps. Let's see. If you decided to start a YouTube internet Patreon class, I'll think about it. I'll think about it. If I ever do, it'll definitely be one of those like very written for dads type thing. I'm gonna just literally crack open a cold beer and be like, "Listen, this is what we're gonna do today in this video." Raw, uncut, Doug. Coming at you with business paradigm shifts like a spider monkey. That's me. That's gonna be my sales line. I should do that. I should make that video series for like educating people and then just make a total bro trailer for it. I'll have to like act like purposefully campy, right? I will teach you how to win. Sign up today. Ivar, hi Doug. How'd you find a local Warhammer group in your area? Facebook's a good tool. Just for finding people. I don't like hang out on Facebook. Yeah, I mean, honestly, just asking around message boards generally seems to be a good way. If you have local game stores, I suggest going into them and just being like, hey, do you guys have like a Warhammer night? I'm new to the area and I'm looking for a new community to be a part of. And if the store owner or person working there has half a brain, they will be like, oh my God, yes. Did we just become best friends and be really nice to you? And that's how you find friends. And if he's like, well, whatever, then you have permission to respond the exact same way and go, whatever, and you go to a different store. This has been customer service training with Doug based on a lot of experience at really bad game stores. There's one in here in Iowa. I will not mention it, so don't ask. But I walked in, and I'm going to throw this out there, and I do not care or want to hear what your personal political things are, but I want you to imagine if you, a new customer, walked into a store and heard this. I walk in, and the owner behind the counter goes, well, the only reason no one's killed Biden is because we don't want Kamala Harris in charge. And like, at that point, I just have the door wide open, and everyone's like turned to stare at me because they all understand what they just said out loud as a potential customer walked in. And I was like, okay then. And it just kind of like backed. Like, it wasn't so much the, well, it was a really crappy thing to say regardless, talking about human life so cheaply, but it was just like, that was not a strong handshake in the business world. That form of greeting was a choice. Let's see. Anyone else planning to use the new... Oh, wait, here we go. Learning how to Mechanicum. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a strange one. I have heard of that. Anyone planning to use the new 40k Angron conversion as an AOS Bloodthirster? I would love it. I would love that. I love his pose. He's all kind of like lurched forward like he's about to pounce. So cool. Now, really all these guys need is a good wash. And then to kind of, I want to pick out some more of the trim, a little bit more on the black, and then do the weathering. But honestly, there's not a lot to the Cataphracti. Partially why they're so cool. See, looking for my Kislev flesh, and I cannot find it for the life of me. shop. Hey, here it is. Took a bit. But yes, you know, I like to think that people on both sides of the American political spectrum would be horrified by that, because it's just very aggressive. Very, very, very intense for no reason at a game store on a Tuesday. You're like, my God, man. Is this where we think real politics is happening? Okay, cool. I'm gonna go. Okay, so this guy. We're gonna throw down a little sexy layer of Runefang steel. Just tried to walk my local hobby store after 2 months of not being home. Walked into an empty building. Oh no! Oh no! You gotta go on a brave little toaster style journey, man. I'm just adding a few highlights here to our little axe. I really do hope with the, I hope there's an increase in World Eater players, because we desperately need an increase in the number of chain axes. It is by far the most metal looking weapon in 40k lore. I love when the orcs have them. I love when World Eaters have them. There's no way they are not the coolest models ever. If I could have a fully functional Warhammer weapon, chain axe it is. And let's see. Whole bunch of live streams that I missed. They're all on my watch later. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Now I did this for the other Marines. I just dry brushed in some red to kind of tie him to the base, dirtied them all up. Chain axes are awesome. I started to love them with my Heresy black shields. Nice! That's nice. There we go. Throw down just a little bit of pure black. Comes the golden moment. I'll go back and throw some plants or something on it later, but they're pretty far away from me at the moment, so they're not high on the priority list. There he is. Reminds me you could have a squad of like 5 land speeders and they're all armed with chain axes for World Eaters and Horus Heresy. That's such a stupid thing for a vehicle. I love it. It's like every commander kept dying from the go forward and let me hit them with my sword meme. So like we got to find a better way. And so they just decided to turn the whole frickin' tank into a sword. That's brilliant. Every speed is ramming speed if you're aggressive enough. Okay, all we got left is my little mix wash here. So I do a wash of just 1-to-1 medium and Nuln Oil. Although that'll change soon, I guess, because they're getting rid of Nuln Oil, so... Or not rid of it, but they're reinventing it. Oh yeah, it's all coming together. In case anyone's curious, the color I used to build up the black a little bit so it didn't look splotchy was black gray from Vallejo. Got it at my local craft store. In case you are looking to replicate something similar. It's a really good, I guess the kind of equivalent in GW is probably Corvus Black, where it's just a hair off of True Black. And for that reason, I really like it. It's really good because it takes washes and stuff still. Like, because it does have that little extra, when you throw down a wash on it, it actually still looks like it has deep recesses. Horus Heresy has some real silly stuff. Ultramarines independent character with 2 shields. It just makes me think of like the what is it from the movie A Knight's Tale, when Joffrey introduces him as like the Rock, the hard place. I just imagine like a guy with 2 shields walking out from like the back wherever all the warriors are prepping. But to me, that's what Warhammer's all about, right? The silly, ridiculous side of things. The dark gray / green is super good color. Oh, yeah. I'll have to check that one out. I love the Vallejo stuff for a lot of my basic colors. Like, really like their blacks. I'm not a big fan of their metals. Never have been. Like, I mean, at least the model color bottles that I've bought. Now the sad part is when you look at a model, you're at the washing phase and you're like, hell yeah, and then you look and you see all the parts that you forgot to paint and you're like, well, hope the wash covers that up. That's where I'm at. I'm at painting like a 3-year-old, just throwing down color. Speaking of throw down color, this week I'm going to try picking up pastel drawing. That's it. Just picking it up. Just want to try something new. I always want to have something that's going on creatively that I'm trying out. I tried oil painting for a while. The biggest hindrance to that was the setup time. Like, I really had to block out a permanent space and or time to, like, pull everything out, get it all set up on the easel, paint, not be disturbed too much, hopefully, while it's going on. Like, it was just a lot of time investment. It's like, well, if I wanted to have fun and feel unaccomplished after 4 hours, I just would have gone and played Warhammer. All right, so we got some Termies. Man, they are looking fine. I like them. Solid black scheme coming out. That's how the first company of the Lunar Wolves did stuff. Oh, this dark gray green is super good color for that red. Oh, thank you so much. I'm sorry, I misunderstood. Yeah. So yeah, this is Sons of Horus green predominantly. Oh, I didn't mean to grab the base there. That's okay. I'll redo that. Yeah, Sons of Horus green, and then Squig orange is the dry brush color. And let me grab some other minis here. Let me show you. So I'll get these Termies off to the side. Let's do a quick show and tell, because I'm going to hop off here in a second. But for the base greens, yes, we have... One is a little bit brighter, as you can see. I batch painted these separately, so 1 and 2. Group 1, this is a approximation of Sons of Horus green by my own color. It's a little bit brighter. It's a combination of some Army Painter paints. This is actual Sons of Horus green, where it is a bit more muted, and actually I like it more. But I feel like on the table, when I mix the units up and put them side by side, you really can't tell the difference, because the basing with that Squig orange really brought them together. Also, that's like Martian Iron Earth is the technical paint down there. So that's what the basic boys look like. And then I did something similar here for the Land Raider. And I'll get the Terminators out of the way here so I'm not crushing my drying models. But if we throw the Land Raider there, let me just pull up my Streamlabs so I can see what it looks like on camera. I did something very, very similar. You can see where it's green, black. I put some of the red in because it is going to be a first company, like a Pride of the Legion Land Raider. And so I wanted to incorporate some of the royal colors they have. And yeah, I just did the exact same thing with the red and built it up from the bottom as if it was trudging through and picking up color as it went. And everything else, I think, turned out fairly well. I like them. I haven't gotten the inside done yet, but I never really do the inside. I was surprised it still worked. It still opened when I was all done painting it. So, but overall, this was a super fun model to build. I would absolutely do another one. Hey, thanks for the stream. I gotta go. Hey, no problem. I'm gonna hop off as well. Leave everything here to paint. I'm just gonna do a quick edge highlighting of the Terminators once this wash dries, and then I'm just going to move on to basing. After that, I'm going to treat myself to the Contemptor Dreadnought. That'll be quite a bit of fun. So anyway, thank you all, friends, for hanging out with me today. It was a nice little cheer me up. I knew I'm just having a rough time lately, and hanging out with people on the chat always lifts my spirits. So thank you for that. You all have yourselves a wonderful day, and as the last reminder, my wife made t-shirts to support women's rights here in the States. If you want to see her custom designs, they're super fun. You can click on the link in the both the description down below and pinned in the conversation tab, and check them out. So thank you so much, and I'll catch you all next time. Happy wargaming.